Hey everyone, welcome to the We Are Vaughn podcast. And I just want to let you know that the podcast is not a substitute for any therapy or mental health guidance. The views expressed on the podcast are none other than those of the host as well as the individuals who appear on the show. If you are seeking any mental health advice or any mental health help, please contact your local mental health therapist. If you are in a crisis or know someone in a crisis, please contact your local hospital. Thank you for listening and let me know what you think.
All right. Okay. So we are back with another episode of the We Are Vaughn podcast. And I just want to say, one, because I have this guest, let me just say, full discretion, it was all me. I messed up the recording last time, but we back. We back. And I'm just super, super grateful that Joshua has decided to come back on and share some things with us. And you know, at the podcast, we like to bring on guests to share their stories, their journeys, and what brought them to where they are today, as well as collaborating that mental health within that. So we're going to go ahead and get down and talk about Joshua. Joshua, I want you to tell the audience, where are you from?
I am from Lake Charles, Louisiana, born and raised.
Okay.
Nice little small country city that is slowly but surely expanding. We are 2 hours away from Houston, 3 hours away from New Orleans. So it is a very what people would call retirement city, but it is still thriving with a lot of life.
Yeah. So I feel like on a song I just recently heard, they mentioned Lake Charles. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Icewear Vizo mentioned Lake Charles. And I'm like, is it too Lake Charles? Because why would you be mentioning this? But yeah, so I'm guessing like it really is doing its thing. Okay, so what do you do for a living?
So right now, I just changed my career path back into my actual craft. I am a material coordinator on a barge, working with the marine life, bringing in material, ordering, logistics, so on and so forth. Like I say, that is what we went to school for.
Yes.
And then on the side, I DJ, I produce, I engineer, songwrite, rap, everything music wise. That's this guy. So
Yes. And I just want to say Joshua has DJ most of my God Ty's parties. I had Ty on here on the podcast a while back, and this is just like full circle. You and Ty grew up both in Lake Charles, correct?
well, he came to school in Lake Charles for college, and that's where I actually met him. He grew up over in Alexandria area. Like I say, from the moment that we've actually connected, it's always felt like a lifelong friendship. It's
Yeah.
been an experience with him through and through, many of years of knowing him. And then, like I say, that's more like a brother family to me than anything.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for the opportunities he have presented me to meet some extraordinary, exciting people,
Yes.
from Vine to everybody in that group from the Run Club. And like I say, it's all love from the bottom of my heart for all y'all.
Yes. And we appreciate you too, especially curating the vibes and your energy. Very, very relaxed, chill person. Every time I see you, just chilling. Or you turning up.
There's no in between. It's chill, turn up.
Turn it up. Right.
Love you both sides regardless.
Yes. So here, we talk about mental health. I want to get a little bit into your background, like your upbringing. What did that look like?
Like I say, growing up, I was in a two-parent household
Hmm.
along with my grandma helping raise us. So growing up in that kind of environment, you drift to one side. I was definitely a grandma's boy in a sense. Like she made sure that I was taken care of. I was her only grandson. I'm my mom and my dad's second born son, but my mom's only son. And I am the middle child of three. So you could say I had middle child syndrome. I uh definitely from that sense, but like I say, grandma made sure that I was very taken care of.
Okay, so let's talk about it. How important it is to have that matriarch in the family, like grandma. Do you feel like that made a major impact? Well, it sounds like it does, but like, in what ways did she make a major impact on you being the middle child?
She made sure that like if anything was slacking from the parents' side of things, like whether it was caregiving or mentorship. She was there to cover that gap. So, like, whereas my mom and my dad would probably take more time with my little sister or my older brother to make sure they were good, she was always making sure that I was set in stone. I had, school supplies. I had, somebody to talk to whenever I needed somebody to talk to. I would always go to her, and she would always be there to be an open ear to listen to me for any concerns, any, comments, any advice that I can get. She would always be there to give it to me. So she definitely was that covering ground for me growing up.
Yes, and that's very important to know because usually with the middle child, it does seem like the middle child get lost in
Yeah.
the sauce. Being that I'm a mom of three and I have a middle child, I mean, relate. Yesterday was my son's birthday, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna keep those two at camp, and me and him gonna spend some time together. So he really appreciated that, and I'm like, dang, I need to do this more often. They get lost, but yeah, so it's good. Grandma made sure you had what you needed, and also provided that emotional connection with you. So that's important. That's
It
definitely.
was. It definitely was.
Mhm. Okay, so let's talk about your parents. Like, how was that? How was it growing up? What did you see? Since, like I said, we talk about mental health here. Is that something that was prevalent in your household? Like, talks about mental health?
Yeah, for a sense, like I say, growing up, even though I had him in my life, me and my dad didn't have the best of relationships. It was always tough love, mental abuse, things along those lines. Whenever it came to him, and then my mom had to play sides, but it wouldn't always go in my favor, even if my father was in the wrong. So it was things along those lines. So, but I could say over the years, like, our relationship has gotten better, but those childhood years, it was definitely not the best of things. So I would have to try to find things to cover, so that way I wouldn't go mentally insane or unstable
Yeah.
because of that. So yeah, there was a sense of just mental abuse more than physical, just by name calling. Like, he would never call me by my government name. He would always call me boy, or he'll tell my mom, get your child instead of, our son, things along those lines.
Yeah.
So that definitely took a toll
Mhm.
on me growing up with him. So it was just a strain in that relationship that had to mend the bridges of sorts, actually growing up to understand, why he was like that, how I felt towards him. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the same thing with, my mom. We had a better relationship, but we didn't have the best relationship. So, like, we can do things or we can talk about things, but it wasn't everything that we could talk about. And then there were times where, like, I just was just disconnected from all of it.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, I just had to find certain things to cope. That's where I picked up on music,
Yeah.
sports,
Yeah.
things along those lines to cover.
Yeah, and I can only imagine. I don't even know, to what extent that what you've gone through. What I can say, I have heard, similar things regarding that, especially in the Black household. What is something like, what's your perspective on how a dad or how you may have wanted your dad to maybe rear you as a child? Because I want to get like the perspective of the Black male when it comes to things like that.
Just be more supportive, like, be there. Like, if we can actually go out and do things, because I had to go off to other people to, like, actually do things with, instead of, my own father. Like, it shouldn't have been on my grandmother or my grandfather to, take me out to go do things that a father should do. So that was one of the major things that I feel like, if, you wanted to take me to the park so we can go throw a football, or you wanted to teach me how to drive, like, that should be on the father.
Yeah,
Certain things, instead of just coming home picking or name calling or things along those lines. Actually take the time out to do things
yeah,
with the son.
yeah,
But that's my perspective on that.
yeah. Yeah.
Just be proactive in your child's life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would definitely think so. Me having two sons, these are things that I think about, and then also from conversations from other Black men in particular, because I see that the society does harden the Black male child, and I see that with my kids at school. So just in the household, being able to have that comforter besides your mother, it means a lot. And I'm glad that you were able to have your grandmother to be able to pick up that, what you were missing. So that sounds, yeah, it's always good to have that extra support. And you said you had to find other things. So you say you picked up music. When was the first time you picked up music?
So the first time I actually picked up music, I want to say I was in the 10th grade of high
Mm.
school.
Yeah.
I had one of my closest friends, shout out to Cody Dumaine. His dad wanted us to come down to Dallas one summer that he was going to stay the month out there. So we started actually sitting down in his father's studio. Cody got me to go ahead and learn a little bit of music theory on the piano. So that was my first experience and first taste of getting a passion for music. Never played an instrument before. Only thing that I did was sing in a choir and write raps for fun. So actually getting in there, playing around with some equipment, it was definitely an eye opener.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely that. It was an experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it sounds like somebody put you on in
Mhm.
some way, and then you just began to continue from there. Okay. When did you first realize that you want to be a DJ?
First time I realized I wanted to be a DJ, I was out in South Padre,
Okay.
spring break. So
Good old spring break.
it was a group of people that we was staying with. Three of them are DJs. And I'm just looking, I'm like, okay, this is definitely a vibe. And they had big shows coming up. They was going to do the Trippie Red, the Polo G, big artists for the weekend locking in. So we had all access passes to that. It was an experience of a lifetime. And then when we got back to the Airbnb and then they was just locked in,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? This don't seem that hard. Like
Yeah.
it don't. So over the years, like I would play around with apps on the phone, just learning the basics of it.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, like you get to it, you learn certain things about the craft. Some people take to it very nicely, some don't. And I'm learning that as of now, trying to teach people how to DJ. But I know whenever it came down to me, I was just getting down into it as far as doing it on the controller, vinyl, CDJs, actually making mixes, doing the transitions, cutting your EQs and FX effects. Like it's an experience of a lifetime. And that one weekend of just watching three guys doing what they do best inspired me a lot. So I can definitely give all credit to them as far as getting me in the mix. DJ Nam, DJ Trey and DJ Banks, they are definitely some masters of their craft.
Okay, with the name drop, look, I'm real curious. What's the most you ever spent on DJ equipment? Because I already know I had seen what was it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember, but it's the one that's so nice and fancy. But it would have been an investment.
So the most I've spent on DJ equipment as of right now is $2,000 on a DJ
Okay,
controller.
okay, okay, okay.
It's definitely some people call it a hobby, quote unquote, but it is a very expensive hobby.
Yeah, it sounds like an investment.
Like in total, as of right now, I can probably say I have almost 18 grand worth of equipment.
Okay, okay.
Still building some storage room for a lot more stuff because it's just a start.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna have to get insurance on that
I
because
definitely
18,000.
will.
You gotta get insurance. Yes. Get some insurance on that equipment because look, take pictures of everything
The
and put insurance on it.
first thing can go wrong. That's even whenever like I have a permanent gig now over on Sundays at a bar called Linda's. And the way that they be coming around that stuff with
Yep. With drinks. Yeah.
you having to tell them, hold on, before you even come and request a song, you better walk all the way around.
Yeah.
Talk
Mm-hmm.
to me right here. I do not need y'all spilling nothing on my stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. It's electronics, you
Yeah,
know. I've seen several people bump into the DJ booth, and I'm looking like, oh my God, just looking at the equipment, especially. I've been noticing a good amount of DJs using a Mac. Would you say that that's the best thing to use?
yeah.
Okay.
Like I say, as far as the storage space and everything, a Mac is definitely the best thing to have. I have two of them.
Yeah.
One primarily for my software. The other one is just for lights.
Hmm.
And that one is put up so that way nobody can mess with that one. But the one that I have all my stuff running off of, my controller and everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's my baby. I am very protective of it.
Yeah.
So,
I know that's right.
like y'all seen at that one party, how it was stayed in my hand while I was standing on top of them people counter.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
where it was, and
Yep.
that's where it was gonna remain in my hand.
Yeah, I get that. At one bar, there was like some type of barrier, like it's a glass barrier, like around the equipment, and it sits a little bit higher. And I think that was a genius idea because of how many people was coming over there. And I could definitely see me getting highly irritated if somebody put some on my equipment. One, I stopped the party. Now I gotta buy some more equipment.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
that's definitely something to watch out for is
Hmm.
because you can be doing your own thing. Like if it's my fault, then I'll take my fault. But if it's somebody else's, I'm gonna be hiding.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
So
Yes, of course. Yeah. So I got a question. I want to rewind back to college. Okay. After your upbringing, things like that. Now you off and you on your own. How was that? Because I don't think people talk about that. We not really adults at 18. Like
oh,
honestly, we don't know what we doing. Then people throwing credit cards at us, and we like, what is this? If we didn't learn about credit in the house, now we done racked up some debt.
no, that's definitely something real. I promise you that. I'm just digging out of it.
Yeah.
But college was a time, and then
Hmm.
to throw a whole bunch of 18, 25 year olds in a mix with however many people is just from starting high school all over again with freedom.
Uh-huh.
If that's
Yeah.
what you can really call it. Like the
Yeah.
house parties, that's what you focus on when you're younger. And then as you get older, that's whenever you really be like, okay, now I'm about to try to rush to do
Yeah.
the right thing. But
Yeah.
like it is definitely something, and the memories that I have of college is more so on the fun side versus
Hmm.
educational side. You can ask Ty about that one. There's there's definitely an experience, but like you said though, putting 18-year-olds in a situation of an adult, they're
Hmm.
not ready for that.
Nope.
Like no matter how much preparation you have, they're not ready to be completely off on their own because you're more sustainable of getting into a situation that you know you might not be able to dig yourself out of for the next few years. So credit cards, the loans, if you don't have any kind of grant or scholarship, student loans is the worst thing to get somebody in debt and then they continue to do it and then they want to switch their major. So now it's even more debt on top of that. It's just a lot. And then, like I say, the partying definitely takes a toll as well because now you're focusing whatever bit of money that you have on. Well, I need to go get liquor. I need to do this. I want to go to this function. I want to. You're not focusing on the right path. Like you can't look at it as, oh well, the fun can wait. Like I'm just 18.
Yeah.
I can have fun whenever I'm done with this. Like you're just so focused in the moment.
Hmm.
You see a lifestyle on campus and then just go with it. Because I can attest, all my friends can attest, that's how we were. We locked in and went one whole different direction from what the hell we supposed to be focusing on. So it definitely was an experience.
Have you ever had what I want to say? Have you ever needed the mental health services on campus? Like, have you ever? Did you even know where they were? Because this was a right. Because this was a thing I did not know. So I actually was having a hard time in college and mentally. towards like the end, I was told that they had counseling services. So this is for all my listeners. If you have kids, there's actually mental health professionals. They're studying to get their, they're doing internship hours and stuff like that. So they do counseling services on a temporary solution focused base. But, or since you say you didn't know, was there ever any time in college where you felt you needed the support mentally at all? Okay. Okay.
There was definitely a time because, like I say, once you realize it's time to lock in,
Mm-hmm.
it takes so much of a drain on your mental because it's like, okay, I don't want to pay for another semester. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want, to get to the end of that finish line and then all of a sudden they tell me like, well, you're gonna have to repeat the
Yeah.
next semester because you failed this one class. Like that takes a toll on somebody. And yeah, it's just that based off of not locking in at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
you have no way of trying
Yeah.
to rush things, especially in that criteria, that area. College is like high school in a sense, but it is not high school.
Yeah.
You need to be more focused. You have harder classes that you feel as if they're not going to be hard
Yeah.
because you feel like, okay, I learned this already, but in a sense,
Yeah.
no.
What subject did you in? Because mine was statistics. I had to repeat it. I'm like, look, I can't do this.
That was me. Like they can I was mad at math and fucking excuse my language. That's the
You
shit
good.
not of me. But I was definitely bad at math in high school, so I knew I was gonna be struggling in college,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of the math. But I had to lock in though after a while. I had
Yeah.
to get help from other students, people that I knew, tutors, so that way I can
Yeah.
focus and get to that finish line. Once I was able to get to there, it was just a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And off and on, like I said, I was able to focus and work in my actual studies. And then once that job runs out, I just go and do something else, or I take a little free time to myself so that way I can
Yeah. Yeah.
refresh and restart.
Yes. I always wonder why math is one of the ones we struggle with. I don't know if it's just in the Black community, but I don't know. I really feel like well, at least for me, like our parents gatekeeped a lot. Didn't tell me about, well, mine didn't tell me about credit, didn't tell me about bank accounts, mortgages, things like that. And it's like, why'd I have to wait to the real world?
Yeah. And then on top of that, I feel as if like once you're in grade school, the only math that really matters, in our opinion, is math essentials, which is just basically your basics. So
Mm-hmm.
that way you know how to add, subtract, multiply, divide.
Mm-hmm.
Geography, unless you're going to be a carpenter, you have no reason to learn about shapes. Let's just be completely honest.
I might want to build a tent.
Yeah, but other than that, it's like, what do I need this for? Like, if somebody's going off to college to do this, instead of them teaching kids financial math,
Yes.
um, or reiterating math essentials, things along those lines that will actually help them in life instead of things that they're gonna look at. Like you're gonna go to a cash register and be like, okay, this shape is this pie right here. Like, no,
I
no,
want a parallelogram worth of money.
yeah, like that don't matter. Teach me how to, do some stocks. Teach me how to
Yes.
along them lines because like once I took financial math, that's whenever I was like, okay, this is the math that they really need in life, not all the other stuff
Yeah.
that kept saying like, oh, this is
Yeah.
what I'm gonna need.
Yeah.
So, that was a big part, not only just the parents gatekeeping things
Yeah.
that you need to know later down the line, but the schools basically gatekeeping, saying, okay, we're going to put you in this class because you need it because this is the credits that you need. So, hey, we're going to put you here because this is going to make you ready for the real world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I definitely feel like that. And then, like I say, doing what I do right now with side gigs and regular job, I definitely didn't need. They could do away with math in school, in my personal opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, like with my kids, we're doing this thing right now where they pay me to use their game and stuff like that. But my sister put me on because it's Monopoly money.
Mm-hmm.
So they start off with 500 and then they got to keep earning their money, but they keep giving it to me. If you keep giving it to me, I'm the bank. Look,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is real. That's real important. Basically, what you're saying, that financial math, that financial literacy. Earlier today, this has nothing to do with math, but I told my kids, if you ever get in a car accident, this is what you should do. Just random, just saying it out of nowhere, because those random things, they do stick. But I can remember a time where my parents taught me that, or maybe they just thought it wasn't important, you know?
Maybe.
So yeah.
Like I said, to me personally, school should definitely teach more about the real world than anything, regardless of subject, math included. Math most important, but
Yeah.
definitely teach about real world situations,
Hmm.
what they're actually teaching, because I don't remember nothing from history. I definitely don't remember how to dissect a frog or a pig or whatever they had us dissecting,
Hmm.
but I definitely know how to handle my situation in case, like you said, this is what you need to do in a situation of a wreck, or this
Hmm.
is what happens whenever, let's say, you cut your finger. Now you had to go to the doctor to put 8 stitches. You think I'm about to count 8 stitches up? No.
Mhm. Mhm.
Other than that, like
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
world things, if you have to do more trade school in high school, so that way you can teach
Mhm.
how to do a trade later down the line in case they say, okay, this is what I want to be.
Yeah.
Weird. Like I
Yeah.
know there's programs for it already for like carpentry and things along those lines, but it's like, where can you take that to the next level?
Yep.
If
Yep.
you're teaching it to every single school or every single student that's going to certain schools, like you have to go off to do a special project. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
that's just how I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. And just us talking about this right now has me thinking about the ways that I wasn't fully an adult even till maybe what I want to say um 28. Like I really
Yeah,
didn't know too much and that's sad, but but because I learned that, I'm able to say, hey kids, this is da 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 da, this is da 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 da, just random stuff. They asking questions, "Hey, yeah, this is how you do that." And back then it was like taboo. Oh, you shouldn't know that, be a kid. But honestly, you just never know. I've heard some kids save their parents' lives because they knew what to do.
yep.
So yeah. Is there a lesson that sticks in your head that maybe your grandma taught you, or your mom, or your dad?
So funny lesson I can say. My grandma gave me a bucket of pennies, and from that bucket of pennies taught me the value of saving every cent of what I earn
Hmm.
and make it go towards something that is very important. Because from out of that bucket, we went to one of those penny machines, me, my dad, and my sister, right? And she told me if I get a certain amount of money out of this fucking, once again, excuse my
You
language,
good?
out of this bucket, go ahead and pay for my school stuff. So I want to say I was 16 at the time. We went to that penny machine. Little sister had like a trick or treat basket full of pennies. My dad had him some coffee cans full of it. They dumped theirs in, they made their money, and then I kept dumping my pennies in mine. So my dad kept saying, I don't know why you keep dumping it, da 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 da. You ain't gonna get but might be this amount. But they had $84 in that bucket of pennies she gave me.
Mm,
So I took that. I went go pay for my school registration. I was able to go get me a few little t-shirts for school,
mm,
and then the rest of it she gave me so that way she can cover for school shoes and some pants
yeah,
for the year. So, but it definitely taught me from that moment on that any cent that I ever got, to save it,
yeah.
so that way you're prepared for whatever you need. And then, like I say, that made me understand the purpose of financial stability.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm saving and I'm not just splurging on this and that, or know what your wants and your needs are. So if I want this, I can wait months and months before I get it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I need this, I need it as soon as possible. So I'm planning for the next few weeks of getting whatever I need. That was just a very valuable lesson that she taught me just based off of her giving me $84 worth of pennies. So
You know what? And that's actually a good lesson because it's applied. Like you actually have to do something in order for you to see or reap the benefit. And I feel like kids learn best that way. And even hearing also, you said the doubt of your dad saying that ain't, you ain't gonna get nothing, that ain't enough. But you knowing like, look, my grandma gave me these pennies. Like I already know she about to do some things for me. So, but it's a applied lesson. It's a real time lesson. So therefore it sticks. So yeah, that's interesting. I still collect pennies. Like, I know some people throw them away, but I still have them in my car. Like I collect my pennies in my car. Maybe I have to take that from your girl. Tell my kids to go to the coin machine.
I say it was a good size bucket. I want to say about yay big.
Mm-hmm.
Full to the brim. Don't even know how we carried it to the car.
Yeah.
That's all she used to do. She used to pennies. She used to put $1 in cabbage and tell you, of course, you take this dollar in the cabbage, you hide it, you're gonna have money for the whole year. So as a kid doing that, right, you don't think of it as, okay, well, where's the money? I don't have money all year, but in reality you have $1 in cabbage
Yeah.
that you
That's
don't know about. So
That's
you
true.
done hit it over the years. You just continue to find these things. And when my
Yes.
grandma passed, like we just started finding all these old shriveled up pieces of cabbage
Mm.
out, and all of them had $1 bill in it.
And you say your grandma passed. My condolences to you. How did that affect you? Because it seemed like she had a big impact.
It definitely affected, and especially when she passed, I was already dealing with another close family member passing. He was shot and killed in a high speed chase by police, and what I felt as was over excessive. So I had to deal with that, and then over the time, my grandma started to deteriorate in health. And then I want to say I was out with friends because I just started going back out. We was at my sister's job at the bar, just having a few drinks, just talking, and then I had got a call from my mom saying, "Hey, can I go get my grandma a neck pillow?" So I'm in the process of going to the store. Then I get a phone call saying, "Don't worry about the neck pillow. I need you to come home like right now." I was like, "Okay." So get to the home, see my grandma wasn't in the best of situations at that point in time, I guess you can say. And I want to say it was probably 2 days after that she went ahead and passed once she was able to speak to everybody she wanted to speak to.
Yeah.
And it definitely took a toll because I watched her take her last breath.
Yeah.
I feel like for somebody that I was so close to, that was a hard thing for me to see, a hard pill for me to swallow because that's basically who took care of me growing up. That's who, what looked down on me to make
Yeah.
sure that I was good. And it was definitely a hard thing to endure. So when she passed, I shut down. I didn't talk to nobody for a while. I stayed in dark rooms. I just wanted to go to work and be by myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was on Thanksgiving when she passed. So I can't really celebrate Thanksgiving how it was before.
Yeah.
So and then as I'm finally starting to be like, okay, you know what, maybe I need to start talking to people. I think I was on the road to come see Tyron.
Mm-hmm.
But that was whenever I had got a call from my sister asking me if I heard about my god brother passing, and I was like, "What you mean? I just talked to him about 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody told me nothing about him passing." But then I found out that he was shot and killed in a parking lot. So, like, as I'm just now starting to get out of one hole, like
Yeah.
my first cousin, then my grandma, and then my god brothers, it definitely was just something that trickled.
Yeah.
And like I say, that definitely was probably the lowest of the low that I can probably go.
Yeah.
as far as my mental being unstable. I didn't know what I needed to do. I didn't want to talk to nobody, but I had to find something to get me out of it. So that's whenever I turned back to music. That
Okay.
was whenever I started just writing songs, writing how I felt and expressing myself
Yeah.
into these lyrics. That's whenever I started just making beats just to pass the time, to get my mind off of what I feel like was just a dark cloud
Yeah. Yeah.
and onto something else. That was whenever I really started to lock in and take this DJing stuff very, very serious because I needed that space. You can ask Dumars, anybody who really knows me, they know that like I definitely was struggling at that point because they'd reach out and they probably wouldn't hear from me for like 2 weeks.
Mm.
So even family, like I shut out a lot
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah. How and that's very tough to hear because your grandma was essentially the person, like your person, you know. And you told me about your grief process. How long ago was that? I'm sorry, before I asked.
So now that was my grandma passed maybe 2 years ago now.
2 years. Oh, that's very fresh. That's very fresh. How do you feel? How would you rate how you deal with grief? Would you say you're good at dealing with grief? I mean, no one's really good, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how you process grief? How would you say?
So before my grandma passed, dealing with grief, it was just I don't know us. How can I say this? Because I wasn't one to always show emotion. I guess you can say it was just like, oh, somebody died, and like it would just be like, okay, I'm processing the news of that, but it wasn't something that I was so focused on, right?
Correct, correct.
Whereas, like once she passed, that was definitely a tough because that was somebody that was so essential to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that one hard. Same with my god brother. Like,
Yeah,
that was hard for me. And then my older cousin, like he passed, but like we was just there. I had more anger for that one
yeah.
because, I had to sit there and watch whenever like he's bleeding out. And then
Wow.
some of the cops that were out there, like I knew them from school and things along those lines, and they were joking and laughing, and then you see the family hurting on the side, so that was more anger towards the situation. Those two, my grandma and my god brother, like that was what like really broke me down because me and my god brother, that's literally the only person that I can call like my little brother blood relation.
Yeah,
He followed me around like a puppy dog.
yeah.
So, and like I said, he had came down. We talked. We rode around for a little while, 2 days prior to him passing, and that was very painful to hear that because I was like, "There's he didn't even make it to 21," and I had plans of taking him out and letting him enjoy his birthday. I had plans of bringing him all over, like if I was to travel, like how I come and see y'all, like he was gonna be right there attached to me, tethered to my hip.
Yeah.
Like I never was able to get that opportunity. And then even my grandma, because my grandma supported me with everything that I do. Whereas like some people say, oh well, DJing isn't a career, or making
Mm-hmm.
music isn't a thing. But she was 100% behind me, so I lost one of my biggest supports.
Sports.
So yeah, it definitely took a toll, and then me grieving that. Like I say, I
Yeah.
was in a place that I feel like I couldn't dig myself out of until that point in time where I had to just find a focus
Yeah.
because work's just gonna stress you out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially
Ooh.
like you're not in the right mind state, and you don't want to tell them that because now they're gonna send you home and you missing out on money. You just deal with it.
Yeah.
You deal with it. And then, like I say, same thing at home. Like they can talk to you and you can zone them out because it's like you don't want to talk, you don't want to eat, you don't want to do all these different things. So that's just how that was. Everybody in here in the household, once my grandma passed, my uncles dealt with it some certain type of way. My mom dealt with it a certain type of way. My sister dealt with it Me, I just feel like I lost, that listening ear
Yeah.
in a sense to where now, like I say, the last 2 years, I spend her birthday, I spend Thanksgiving, I go to the grave site, I sit down and I still have a conversation with my grandma because I feel like, I have to have that, regardless if she's here or not. I have to have that person to talk to let know whatever has been going on in life, so on and so forth, letting her know that, I'll see her down the line whenever it is my time to pass. We'll be speaking again in heaven.
Yeah.
But there's that. That's how I cope with it now.
Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like music kind of just it saved you. It saved you from a place of despair, unfortunate events happening, from you picking it up to not even knowing what it was, and now you pretty much you doing your thing and you have a permanent spot where you DJing, and music definitely sounds like it's very influential to you. So yeah, I always wonder, like, because I know a couple of DJs, I always wonder, like, what's the story of origin? Like, how did you get to this place? And to hear, unfortunately, the events that occurred that allowed you to kind of push harder, fortunately, that's always a good thing. I love when it has like the substance to it because you could tell like it's your passion, you know what I'm saying? So
But how did you get this passion about?
how did you get the passion? Right. So thank you. I do appreciate you for talking about that. And you did say you have a permanent spot. So what I want to know, like prior to us kind of wrapping it up, I want to know, what do you plan on doing for the future? I know you have your career right now, in DJing, and what you're doing at this moment as far as work is concerned, like regular, not fun DJ work. What can the audience look out for? Like, do you have any big things coming up or anything coming up in general?
As far as that goes, I'm waiting for Ty to get back with me. We have something in the works that we plan on doing probably every 1 or 2 months where we get people together. We call it Vibes Don't Lie because definitely the vibes do not lie.
Yeah.
Anybody who has been around us, anybody who has experience from the Christmas party, the Y2K party, the
Yeah.
all white party,
Yes.
they know it's definitely an experience. How they do that so
The sauce.
yeah, but we have those in the works. I have certain things down here that I have planned that if y'all want to come, hey, feel free. It's open arms. I'm trying to get a picnic barbecue cookout at a park going. Have tattoo shops that have opened up saying that they want to do a tattoo party as long as the people come, as long
Yeah.
as they make the profit, small tattoos free.
Yeah.
But I will be DJing over there
Oh,
as
that's
well. They're gonna close the shop up. Whoever's inside, they're inside. What else do we have coming up? I'll wait for Ty to drop the details on a few things
yeah.
outside of what we're planning as a
Yeah.
group. But he definitely has a few things in the work that we're trying to get locked in.
I'm excited. I'm
And
excited.
then again, like I say, I DJ on Fridays or every other Friday as of right now over at a spot called Linda's in Lake Charles. It's a little dive bar, but it's definitely a family vibe in there. Like everybody who comes in, they'll tell you like they give hugs, they don't handshake. They know you're not. Like it's definitely family friendly. They come in, they have fun, they drink, they dance,
Yeah.
they do karaoke if they want to do karaoke.
Yeah.
It's just definitely something that you feel the love. So
Yeah.
over there, it's Fridays, and then on every blue moon, depending on what the work schedule is looking like, I'll probably be DJing in there on Sundays as well, along with my homeboy Speedy. Shout out to him for the connection. Shout out to him for the opportunity to do
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah.
That's my little protege, if you want to call it. He's learning. He's
Learning.
up,
Okay. Okay.
definitely gonna be an up and coming DJ sometime
Mhm.
soon. Once he gets everything locked in, he's good at
Okay.
what he does.
Okay. You got an apprentice. Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's go.
somebody got to take over once I be like, okay, well, I'm done. I'm on the bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely got some things locked in though, for sure, for the near future.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hold you to that. Ties like family to me, and it's so funny because it's only been a short amount of time, but very much so. Ty is definitely a what I want to say. He check in on you, make sure you good, like just out of nowhere, out of the blue, and that's hard to come by. So very much so when I can I'll be able to support y'all. So yeah, we're gonna have to have some kid events because
We definitely can. We definitely can. I
I got
thought about it. Yeah.
three.
I told him, I was like, we need to find somewhere we can get like the inflatable outside
Yes, yes,
and things along the lines. Because I know out here we have a public park that's got the smoker pit and a lot of land. So where you could just put anything and everything. We used to do the college homecomings over there.
yeah,
Get a kickball event going. And I
yeah,
told him, I was like, you think you can get everybody from Houston to come down this way? He was like, but I could try.
yeah. Could
Like
take
I,
a drive.
yep.
Yeah,
So definitely, like I say, kid friendly event. We
yeah,
can lock that in for
yeah,
the future as well for everybody
yes,
who have a child. Bring
yeah,
them on in. We'll have something going.
yes. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for being on today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity.